Let's talk for a moment about the living cell and its components. It must be remembered that no living molecule is self-reproducing. Only whole cells contain all the necessary machinery. So if you got proteins, they're not going to reproduce a living organism. If you got the amino acids to form the proteins, they're not going to reproduce. It takes the whole cell and all the mechanism within it. Only whole cells may contain all the necessary machinery for self-replication. Without the protein-forming machinery, nothing can be made. It takes the whole, it's all or nothing. Sir Karl Popper pointed out, what makes the evolutionary origin of life and of the genetic code a disturbing riddle for evolutionary theory is this. The genetic code is without any biological function unless it's translated, that is, unless it leads to the synthesis, the making of proteins whose structure is laid down by the code. But the machinery by which the cell translates the code consists of at least 50 macromolecular components, which are themselves coded by the DNA. Thus, the code cannot be translated except by using certain products of its translation. You can't evolve one to lead to another to produce the cell. It all has to be in place, and it must be in an organ to protect it. Under the ground, invisible organisms, including yeast, moles, microscopic invertebrates, nematode worms, and especially bacteria, balance the above-ground ecosystem as they make nutrients and minerals available for plant life. So what you see is only a small part of what it takes to make what you see. Miniature marvels, and there is a schematic of these bacteria. Deep Earth appears to be a major chemical factory filled with a mass of bacteria greater than the combined mass of all plants and animals living on the surface. Wow! Hidden behind us is what makes this possible. About 50,000 species of bacteria have been identified, but only about 8% cause disease, and those appear to be a degradation of what they were originally. Cyanobacteria, vastly important. Cyanobacteria in the oceans break apart the bonds of carbon dioxide, making oxygen available to living things. Perhaps the most abundant creatures on Earth, these microbes may release more oxygen than all green plants combined. So the ocean produces more of our oxygen because of the cyanobacteria within the ocean than all of the plants. In carbon recycling, one specific duty of bacteria is to break down dead plant and animal matter. A group of bacteria known as lithotropes feed on minerals within rocks and break them down, thus enriching the soil. The bacteria in the genus Rhizobium, which live in and under plants, fix the nitrogen. Some bacteria even help to make it rain. Wow, it all works together. Now, wrapping this up. Within many bacteria is the marvelous, irreducibly complex bacterial flagellum. It's a little whip-like structure. It's a propeller on the back of the bacterium. It's powered by an electric motor with the following features. Now see how evolution might produce this. Self-assembly. When I have a car the Van Impe's gave me, 1909, and I have 2 dents in it. And I'm waiting for evolution to straighten them out. How long do you think I'm going to have to wait? Forever. Oh no. Forever? You mean the profile of the educational system around the world is that evolution produced us, and evolution will change things for the better, just give it enough time. I want my car bumper fixed. You think I'm going to have to pay for it? Get a mechanic to do it? Evolution's supposed to have done all this, produced us. So how long am I supposed to wait? He said, forever. I guess he's right. So if it's not going to repair my bumper with the 2 dents, how's it going to produce this? Here's a mechanism. Without this mechanism, the beneficial E. coli in your stomach, the pizza that you ate for lunch is going to kill you. I'm serious. In time, it will introduce to your entire body. If it's not broken apart, it'll introduce sepsis. And you're gone. So you need something to break it apart. Because don't stop eating pizza, right? You need something to break it apart. This does it. So this has self-assembly. I mean, it assembles itself. And it repairs itself. Water-cooled rotary engine. Wow. Proton motive force drive system. Forward and reverse gears. Operating speeds up to 100,000 revolutions per minute. Direction reversing capacity. It can reverse its direction within a quarter of a turn. Oh my goodness. Could evolution produce that? Never. But it's better than that. And the MO-1 bacterium is even more astounding. Its components include 7 of these whip-like flagella. It can swim 100 times faster than E. coli. It's called the Ferrari of the bacterial world. And here's how it operates. On the left, it's seen in a scanning electron microscope. Did you say we're going to get a scanning electron microscope?
Yes.
On the right is what we're going to see in action. Look, with that scanning electron microscope, we can observe the wheels. We can count the rotary gears in that bacterial flagellum, and because that's a scanning electron microscope, counting those gears, observing them, and there is, voila, an astounding design feat. Let's give a hand to the MO-1 Ferrari. Where is it found? The French. Yes.
One point on this, you probably have read in evolutionary literature that evolution has never produced a wheel, or that nature has never produced a wheel. And here we have not only a wheel, we have an outboard motor. It's literally an outboard motor.
Literally. And it has 7 gears, 2, 4, 6, 7 gears, and it has 21 inner gears to keep them from meshing together. That's astounding. Wow. Evolution could not produce this. Absolutely could not produce this. And we're going to be able to observe that in our laboratory. So stay tuned with us, and we'll have special classes for young people and permit you under special supervision to really get involved. The future is bright. Well, if evolution couldn't produce it, who produced it? Conclusion. To ignore the fact of creation in view of such overwhelming evidence in the micro world is essentially a refusal to admit the existence of a creator. It's either naturalism or supernaturalism, evolution or creator. But this should come as no surprise, this refusal. The scriptures are clear. Even as they did not like, they willingly, deliberately, even as they did not like to retain God, just wouldn't retain even the concept of Him in their knowledge, Romans 1:28. But we gladly embrace Him and His marvelous creation.